Sunken cities are nothing new. Ask any scuba diver, and they'll tell you there are at least 2 or 3 in every ocean. But few sunken cities were ever as grand or as tragic as this one. Welcome to Heracleion. Today, it's a ghost town beneath the waves, buried deep beneath the shifting sands of time and more than 30 feet of water. Heracleion is one of the largest underwater archaeological sites in the world, hiding more secrets than anyone could have imagined. It was once the capital of an empire that spanned 3 continents. We will explore the ruins of this lost kingdom using cutting-edge technology and discover how it fell from grace. It was here where pharaohs came to pay homage to the gods and where they consulted the oracle for guidance. Prosperity, cultural achievement, and population reached an all-time high. For almost 200 years, Heracleion thrived. But then everything changed. It was also here where the fusion of Greek and Egyptian culture reached its zenith. Archaeologists have discovered anchors, chains, and other parts of ships frozen in time. It's as if the entire city was just placed under the sea. But how did it sink so fast without a trace? Well, according to experts, a combination of seismic activity and rising sea levels caused the land to collapse. The earthquakes loosened the soil, causing the shoreline to become unstable. Then the sea level rose so rapidly that it caused the entire city to sink into the water. Basically, it was a perfect storm. Don't let history drown. Subscribe now. Huge piles of treasure lay scattered about, untouched for thousands of years. And everywhere you look, there are signs of daily life in this once bustling metropolis. Roads, houses, shops, temples, even toilets have all been found remarkably preserved. The Great Pyramid of Giza might have been the tallest man-made structure in the world, but it takes the cake for most useless. You see, the Great Pyramid was built over 4,500 years ago, which makes it older than Stonehenge and the Egyptian pyramids. But it's not nearly as impressive as its name suggests. The truth is, the Great Pyramid isn't a pyramid at all. Instead, it's a tomb. Built for a pharaoh, it's filled with treasures that were intended to help him on his journey into the afterlife. And because of its size and grandeur, many believe it was built by slaves. However, recent evidence suggests that the slaves weren't working against their will. In fact, they were paid laborers who willingly chose to work on the pyramid in exchange for food, clothing, and money. Regardless, the Great Pyramid of Giza is an impressive feat of engineering. Its construction required an estimated 2 million stone blocks weighing an estimated 6 million tons, and it remained the tallest structure in the world for over 3,800 years. However, the real reason it was built is unknown. Historians have theories, but no one really knows why the pharaohs bothered. After all, no one's ever found a body inside. The quakes caused massive landslides which altered the course of the Nile River. An Italian naval officer named Luigi Borchman was conducting a survey of the coast when his team picked up strange readings on their sonar. They're using some pretty cutting-edge tech to do it, too. They've also found a harbor that dates back to the 7th century BC. And they've even found the remains of a crocodile sanctuary that dates back to the 6th century BC. These discoveries are just the tip of the iceberg. There's still so much to learn about Heracleion. For example, they're using laser scanning to create detailed maps of the city's structures. They're also using artificial intelligence to analyze the data and identify patterns. In addition, they're reusing remote sensing techniques such as radar and LiDAR to study the city without actually having to dig up the artifacts. These new methods are helping us learn more about Heracleion than we ever could have imagined. At first, they thought it was faulty equipment, but after further investigation, they realized it was something else entirely. They returned to the site with a team of archaeologists and began excavating the seabed. They discovered broken pottery, ancient coins, and other artifacts that told them only one thing. What they had found was the legendary Heracleion. Since then, scientists have used sonar to map the entire city. And what they've found is absolutely incredible. Then the sea level started to rise, inching up higher and higher until it finally swallowed the city whole. One day the residents woke up and realized that their entire city was underwater. All the riches, all the artwork, everything they owned was gone, leaving them only with the clothes on their backs and the sand between their toes. Thousands fled inland, never to return. Because the Egyptians took the concept of oracles very seriously and wanted to make sure that they got the best possible advice. So they asked the oracle to predict who would be the greatest sage of all time. The oracle spoke, revealing his identity. She said he would come from Greece and have a beard like flowing wine and eyes that sparkled like the stars. The Egyptians searched far and wide for this mystical seer, and eventually they found him sitting by the Aegean Sea, teaching small groups of disciples about the mysteries of life. His name was Euclid, and he became the first head priest of the Temple of Ammonius. Over the next 30 years, he advised the pharaohs on matters of war and peace, helped build great works of art and architecture, and amassed a vast library of books and scrolls detailing the wisdom of both the Greeks and the Egyptians. But first, what was life like in the glory days of Heracleion? It was founded in the 8th century BC near the mouth of the Nile Delta and quickly grew into one of the most important trading hubs between Egypt, Greece, and India. Because of its strategic location, Heracleion was perfectly positioned to control all shipping lanes coming in and out of the Nile Delta. And control of these trade routes meant massive wealth for the city. They controlled the flow of goods such as ivory, gold, perfume, wine, and silk, just to name a few. This made Heracleion one of the wealthiest cities in the entire Mediterranean. Heracleion was an ancient Egyptian port city that served as the eastern terminus of the Mediterranean Sea. But being so close to Greece had its downsides. As time went on, Greek culture began to take root in Heracleion. The two cultures blended, creating one of the most unique periods in Egyptian history. Ancient historians described it as the place where Greek met Egyptian and where the two cultures embraced and exchanged ideas. Side by side, the Greeks built temples to the Egyptian gods while the Egyptians constructed sanctuaries to Zeus and other Greek deities. In fact, the main reason that Heracleion became such a wealthy city was because the Egyptians decided to align themselves with the Greeks and use their advanced naval technology to protect their trade routes. In the middle of the city stood the Temple of Ammonius, dedicated to the supreme god of the Egyptian pantheon. During the reign of Ptolemy II, the capital was moved from Alexandria to Heracleion. It was around this time that the city reached its peak. Several natural disasters struck the coastal city, starting with a series of earthquakes. It wasn't until 1900 that the site was rediscovered. We can see buildings still standing upright like they were dropped to the bottom of the sea yesterday. The discovery has shocked the scientific community because it's unlike anything they've ever seen before. Today, researchers continue to work tirelessly to uncover the secrets of this lost kingdom. For example, archaeologists have recently discovered the remains of a lighthouse that dates back to the 4th century AD. And who knows what other secrets lie beneath the waves? Empires rise, fall, and sometimes sink.